What's up, my Jefferson Jewels? Today I'm going to show you how to do rosettes on a cake. You can even do this on cupcakes. So I'm going to start off by first showing you the method of how you're going to be doing them on your cake or cupcakes. If you look, this is how it should turn out. And I want you to pay attention to the process first before I actually do it on the cake. So I'm doing it on parchment paper. You just slightly press the icing against the paper and you make a lowercase e with the tail, and this is how it's going to turn out. Just think of it as being a lowercase e, but you have to be very careful on how you are pressing the icing. Now watch again. I'm going to press slightly on the paper and pull up and turn like a lowercase e and then swipe up to make the tail. And that's how it's going to look. So I'm going to make a couple of more. I want to first show you how I do it. Go down and turn lowercase e and come up. Beautiful rosettes. Okay, I'm going to make one more just so you'll know how you will be doing this on your cake. Go down lightly and swerve under lowercase e and pull up. And these are your rosettes. And now I'm going to be doing a dark pink and light pink on a cake. So stay tuned. Okay, this is the piping bag that I'm going to be using. This is a Wilton piping bag. And I'm going to cut to have enough room to put my utensil. This is a 1M. And it does very beautiful rosettes. 1M. Please excuse the icing that's on my fingers. I had a lot of icing to do that day. Alright, so now you got to press it in the bag, and once you put it in the bag, place it in the bag, you want to make sure that none of the plastics are around the opening, because this will stop your icing from coming out. So look closely at how the bag is pulled up above the opening. This is the coloring that I use. You can see it all on my hand. I use this coloring from Kroger's. It's just a red color that I use to put in my icing to make it a darker pink. So I have a lighter pink and a darker pink, and I'm just stirring it up just a little bit more to make sure that it's evenly distributed. You want to make sure the color is evenly distributed so that it will not come out two colors if you don't want it to come out two colors. Alright, now I also use a tall glass. This is just used for decorating only. We do not use this glass for anything else but decorating. And so this tall glass is what I use to put the icing in. And so I place the icing inside the Wilton bag. And you want to make sure that you get the icing in. I try to make sure as low as I can because you do not want any air bubbles in your icing bag, because when you're trying to decorate your cake, this can become a big problem if you have air in your bag, because it'll make air bubbles and it begin to pop while you're in the middle of decorating your cakes. So I'm pressing down, trying to make sure that the icing is evenly distributed in the bag. So you just press down gently, and I'm feeling around to make sure there's no space, like right up in here, a little space. So I'm going to press down a little more, because you do not want any openings. That can spoil your beautiful rosettes. Okay, so you just twist the bag. Some people like to twist it around their fingers. You just twist it where you have it tight enough to where air cannot come in. Now this is my crumb cake, and I'm getting ready to put my rosettes on. Pressing down lightly with the lowercase e. I'm going from right to left. You can go either way you want to, left to right, right to left. I'm doing right to left, pressing down firmly, letting go, and turning, making that lowercase e, but I'm coming up with mine this time. Okay. Look at it again. So because I'm going from right to left, this is probably more like a backwards E. But always think of a lowercase e when you're doing it. And it turns out wonderful. And you want the rosettes to touch. I think those first two to 3 rosettes I didn't get to touch. But you want to make sure that they are touching each other. So I'm going to complete this bottom row. They're big rosettes, but I'm still going to have room to put some on the top row. They're just going to be a little smaller, but that's fine. So I'll be back. And that is the top row added. This cake was sort of small, so it's 2 layers, but it wasn't as thick as my other ones have been. Now I'm going to do the top of the cake, and this is going to be in the lighter color pink. So I have my light colored icing inside of the bag. I've already tested it for air bubbles. And now I'm going to put them at the top. The top is more easier to do the lowercase e's correctly. The icing that I use for this is still buttercream icing. And I'm going to show you where I did use just some regular Betty Crocker icing as well. I think from my local Dollar Tree. And it works just as well. You just have to make sure that you go straight to the refrigerator once you put it on, because you don't want it to melt. But this icing is buttercream that I'm using here. And you firmly press against the cake, not too hard, and make the lowercase e with the tail, and make sure they're touching. And it's just that simple. You want to make sure that each rosette is touching, and you just turn and let it go. Once you press down, you keep it down, and then you lightly let go of your bag at the top. If you notice my fingers at the top, I'm letting go just lightly. And this is the first row that I'm doing on the top of the cake. And I'm trying to make sure that they are touching. And I'm going to finish the rest of the cake. So I will be right back once I finish the rest of the cake. But this is how it looks so far with just that one row. I'm trying not to let the cake drop. And it's such a mess on the cardboard, but that's fine. We can put a fresh cardboard there later. Alright, I'll be back. And I have completed the rosettes on this cake. And that's the top of it. Those are beautiful rosettes. And had this been a 3-layer cake, it would have really been pretty. But just for tutorial purposes, this was a 2-layer cake. So this is how it turned out. Alright, here is another cake that I did earlier this month, and this is just a light pink, and I did a peachy color at the top. So it's like a light pink and a peachy orange color, more peach colored at the top. But this is how I did this particular cake. And I'm filling in the gaps here. Sometimes you'll have spaces if you're not careful on how you place your rosettes. So I will be back. Now I'm getting ready to do the top of the cake. The top of this cake is what's done by the regular Betty Crocker. I don't know if you can Betty Crocker icing, I'm sorry, Betty Crocker. And this is just some regular icing from your local Dollar General or Dollar Tree. I forgot where I got this from. Very cheap icing. But once I've refrigerated it, it looks just as well as the buttercream did. And so this is how it turned out. And here's another picture of it. So Jefferson Jewels, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please don't forget to like and give a positive comment. All right, love you. Bye-bye.